Sometimes, life feels like it is testing us from every direction. We keep trying to control every detail of our journey. We fear that something bad will happen if we don't keep a tight grip on the wheel. We want everything to follow our expectations. The results must be exactly as we wish. People must respond in the way we hope. And the more we try to control, the more exhausted we become. Worries and pressure keep weighing down the heart and tightening the mind. But what if the secret to success lies in the opposite direction? What if we don't need to force everything to go our way? What if letting go and trusting the natural flow of the universe is the true key to opening the door to a better life? Today, we will explore the art of surrender, a journey that helps you realize that everything you have been longing for is already coming closer to you every single day. Lesson 1. The universe responds to your vibration, not your desperation. In the Buddha's teachings, everything that exists in the universe is connected through energy. Whatever arises in our mind, the universe responds to it in the same way. Vibration is the frequency our consciousness operates on, the combined essence of our thoughts, emotions, and the deepest beliefs within us. Every moment, we are unconsciously sending out signals like a silent conversation between us and the universe. And the miracle is that the universe always responds exactly to the energy we emit, whether positive or negative. When we live with calmness and trust, when our hearts are filled with gratitude and hope, we are sending out a frequency of abundance and peace. That is the kind of energy that opens the doors to good things. The universe receives this message and arranges the right conditions so that blessings come closer to us. Sometimes it appears as a small opportunity we didn't expect. Sometimes as a person who walks into our life at exactly the right moment. But it all begins from the energy we carry within. On the other hand, when we are overwhelmed by anxiety and fear, when we cling to what we want with desperation, the signals we send out become colored by lack. We may think we are trying very hard to achieve our goals, but deep inside we are terrified of losing them, or afraid that we will never have what we desire. Those thoughts create the exact frequency the universe picks up. The universe does not respond to what you beg for. It responds to the fear hidden behind the request. We often mistakenly believe that the harder we push, the tighter we hold, the faster we chase, the sooner we will get what we want. But the truth is, the more we force things, the more they slip away from our reach. Disappointment arrives, pressure grows heavier, and the mind becomes exhausted. And then we think life is unfair. Yet it has never been the universe's fault. It is simply reflecting the vibration we have been sending out from our restless hearts. There is a gentle but deeply powerful truth. When we pause for a moment, breathe more consciously, observe our emotions, and shift our inner state from lack to trust, the circumstances around us begin to transform. When we stop insisting that we must have everything right now, when we believe that what is meant for us will arrive at the perfect moment, our vibration changes instantly. We are no longer chasing life. We are being carried by it. Always remember that the universe listens, but it never listens to desperation. The universe listens to peace. When you radiate calm, steady, trusting energy, what you long for will find its way to you naturally. That is the moment when the universe meets you halfway, and the things you have waited for will finally begin to blossom into your life. Lesson 2. The more you try to control, the more you block yourself. It is human nature to want control. We want everything in our lives to go according to the plan we have created. We try to predict every situation, afraid that if we loosen our grip even a little, life will drift away from what we desire. We make detailed plans for the future, try to shape how others treat us, and rush outcomes that are not yet ready to unfold. But the harder we try to control, the more it feels like life is working against us. Resistance rises in the mind, and the universe becomes heavier along with it. Imagine holding something tightly in your hand. If you grip it too hard, your hand becomes stiff, sore, and you may not even feel what you are holding anymore. Life operates in the same way. The more we cling to things out of fear, the more we lose the ability to enjoy the journey and the chances for new possibilities that are trying to enter our lives. When the mind focuses only on the outcome, on the ending that must match our expectations, we unknowingly shut the door to countless other beautiful possibilities the universe is preparing for us. Letting go does not mean giving up or abandoning our dreams. The Buddha reminds us to act with mindfulness and wisdom. We still move forward and try our best every day, but our effort comes from inner peace, not from fear. Surrender is not sitting still and waiting. It is acting naturally, without forcing and without demanding immediate results. We do our part and allow the rest to unfold according to the conditions of life. What is important to understand is that when we try to control our thoughts, emotions, and reactions out of fear, we only increase tension within ourselves. The more the mind resists what is happening, the more suffering expands. But when we learn to accept, to open our hearts, and to breathe deeply into a gentle state of peace, something miraculous begins to unfold. Everything becomes lighter. The things that once felt stuck suddenly reveal a path forward. The universe always favors hearts that are open and trusting of the natural flow. What we hold on to too tightly is often what hurts us the most. And what we release at the right moment is often what leads us back to who we truly are. The more we try to control, the more we create barriers against the blessings meant for us. But when we soften the mind and make room for silence and calmness, the universe finally has the space to plant the beautiful gifts we were always meant to receive. Lesson 3. Silence is sometimes more powerful than any noise. We live in a world that never stops making noise. Phones vibrate constantly, notifications flood in every minute. The news, social media, and endless conversations force our minds to keep consuming more and more information. The outside world is loud, but sometimes the loudest noise comes from within our own thoughts. They jump from one worry to another. Old memories, fears about the future, self-judgment, and imaginary conversations leave the mind with no moment of real rest. We are always reacting, always tense, always chasing something. Yet the more we chase, the further we drift from the peace we seek. In the Buddha's teachings, silence is not simply the absence of sound. Silence is the spaciousness in which the mind can settle and wisdom can speak. When the inner chatter quiets down, we begin to hear subtler messages. It is the voice of intuition, of awareness, of guidance from the universe. Silence creates a clear space for truth to appear. Imagine a calm lake in the early morning. When the water is still, we can see every stone beneath the surface, every blade of grass, every cloud reflected clearly. But when the wind stirs and the water becomes disturbed, everything turns blurry. Our mind is the same. When it is agitated by craving or fear, everything looks like a problem. But when the mind returns to stillness, the right path naturally reveals itself. Silence is the mirror that reflects our true nature. In life, silence is sometimes strength. It is not because we have nothing to say, but because we understand that not everything needs to be said. When everyone is trying to speak loudly to prove they are right, the one who chooses silence is the one protecting their inner peace. It is an act of intention, an ability to control the inner world instead of being swept into external chaos. Silence is not weakness. It is how we preserve our energy and dignity. The universe never speaks to us through shouting. Its messages come as gentle signals. Sometimes just a subtle feeling, a sudden idea, a door opening at the perfect moment. But if we keep voicing our fears, worrying non-stop, or trying to analyze everything, we will miss those delicate signs. Only when we pause and listen can we hear what the universe is whispering. Silence is where wisdom arises. It is the beginning of all awakening. When the mind becomes quiet, it becomes bright. And when the mind is bright, we know where to go. In that stillness, everything becomes clearer than ever before. Lesson 4. The art of trusting divine timing. We are living in an era where everything moves so fast that people forget nature has its own pace. We want success the moment we begin. We want love to appear the moment we feel lonely. We want happiness to arrive even when our hearts are still carrying wounds that have not yet healed. We set deadlines for when good things must happen, and when life seems to move slower than we expect. We worry that perhaps it has turned its back on us. But that is only because we confuse the rhythm of our ego with the rhythm of the universe. The universe never follows the clock inside our heads. The things we desire do not appear when we demand them. They appear when our hearts are truly ready to receive. Every connection and opportunity in life follows an invisible process that has been arranged long before we could understand. It moves in the sacred rhythm of spiritual growth, guided by a purpose greater than anything we can see right now. What we call delays are sometimes the most careful preparations, making sure we do not lose what is meant to be ours. Delay is not failure. If a flower blooms even one day early, it may fade one day sooner. If a fruit ripens before it has enough sunlight, its sweetness will never be complete. Humans are the same. Every challenge we go through, every moment of waiting that feels hopeless, every long night without change is a part of our inner nourishment. Some things want to arrive, but cannot yet, because we must learn more, understand more, and grow stronger. The universe often places the biggest gifts behind the longest waiting. When we trust the timing of our lives, we stop torturing ourselves with the question, why not yet? We understand that some things only come when our inner maturity opens a new door. We begin to see that what leaves us is not always a loss, but a way to make room for something better to enter. Life never takes anything away without preparing something greater to replace it. Look to nature. No seed rushes to sprout before winter has retreated. No bird attempts to fly before its wings are strong enough to meet the sky. Life always unfolds with perfect precision. Every drop of dew falls with purpose. Every rising sun has its mission. And we too must trust that we are being nurtured in ways our eyes cannot yet perceive. Waiting is not standing still. Waiting is moving forward without forcing the universe to follow our timetable. It is a phase for the heart to slow down, for the mind to be refined, for the unhealed parts of us to restore. In those periods that appear motionless on the surface, everything is actually shifting powerfully beneath. And when the right moment arrives, things bloom suddenly and beautifully, just as destiny promised. Patience is not passive. Patience is an act of faith. Faith that what is meant for us is on its way. Faith that every step, no matter how slow, is guiding us to where we need to be. When we allow things to come in their own time, we experience a rare kind of peace, because we know that what we are given is always what is right for us. The universe has never been late with anyone. Sometimes we simply need to learn how to wait in order to witness the miracle. Lesson 5. You attract what you believe you deserve. There is a simple truth that not everyone is awakened enough to realize. The universe does not respond to what we merely say we want. The universe responds to what we believe is true about ourselves. If deep inside you believe you are worthy of peace, of success, of love, life will move those things closer to you every single day. But if your belief is that you are not good enough, not valuable, or destined only for suffering, then even blessings standing right in front of you will feel impossible to reach. In Buddhism, there is a principle that the mind leads. The state of the mind shapes the state of life. If your mind is bright, the road ahead is bright. If your mind shrinks in fear and insecurity, life will reflect those limits back to you. It is like wearing a pair of glasses. If the lenses are dirty, everything you see becomes unclear. But the fault is not in the world. The fault is in the lenses we refuse to clean. When someone believes they deserve love and good opportunities, they carry a natural confidence. They do not need to boast or prove themselves. Their energy alone is enough for the universe to arrange positive things to show up in their life. They remain calm, even when a door closes, because they know many other doors are waiting to open. That belief helps them attract kind people, healthy relationships, and opportunities they once thought were too big for them. Believing you deserve more is the first step toward entering the flow of abundance. But when someone carries a belief that they are unworthy, they unknowingly build an invisible wall between themselves and the blessings meant for them. A simple compliment feels suspicious. A good opportunity feels frightening. When love appears, they panic because they do not believe they can be loved for long. When a door opens, they hesitate and close it back on themselves. They do not realize that old emotional wounds have put them in a constant state of self-rejection, and the universe cannot deliver anything greater than what they believe they deserve. The miracle is that with just a shift in how we see ourselves, everything around us begins to shift as well. When you treat yourself with compassion and respect, you send a clear message to the universe. I am worthy of good things. In that moment, you step out of the energy of lack and into the energy of abundance. You no longer search outside for worthiness because you have found it within. The universe does not distinguish whether your beliefs are positive or negative. It simply responds to the energy you emit. If you keep telling yourself, I can never do anything right, the universe replies, as you wish. If you say, I will always be alone, the universe nods. But if you powerfully affirm, I deserve a peaceful and happy life, the universe will begin opening pathways for it to become reality. Resonance always happens at the frequency you choose, and of course, believing you deserve more does not mean sitting still and waiting for life to hand you everything. It is a promise you make to yourself that you will no longer sabotage your own opportunities. When you trust yourself, you act with more courage. You dare to step into challenges that help you grow. You stop comparing, stop doubting, and stop settling for less than what is right. You dare to love, dare to dream, dare to fail, and dare to try again. That is the inspired action the universe requires from you. What you receive in life is largely a reflection of what you believe about yourself. If you want to receive more, you must first allow yourself to become someone worthy of more. When you change the story inside, every story on the outside begins to transform gently. And one day, you will realize that the things you once prayed for have arrived as naturally as a breath, because you have become the person who is ready to receive them. Lesson 6. Calmness is a manifestation in itself. We are often taught that to achieve what we want, we must work harder, push further, and stay constantly in motion. The world outside keeps urging us to move faster, take more, and reach success earlier. We grow up believing that success only belongs to those who fight relentlessly, and happiness only comes to those who never stop striving. But the more we run, the more exhausted we become. The tighter we hold on, the more tense we feel. We get caught in a race without ever asking where we are actually heading. What looks like progress is sometimes just our mind trying to escape from the deepest fears within. In the Buddha's teachings, there is a gentle yet profound truth. Peace does not come from having more. Peace comes when the mind stops being carried away by desire and fear. Calmness is not standing still or abandoning life. Calmness is when we continue to act, but from a place of clarity and inner steadiness. Calmness is the ability to see clearly what truly matters and what is merely a passing illusion. A peaceful heart has focus, wisdom, and direction, far greater than a heart tangled in anxiety and urgency. Imagine your mind as a lake. When the water is still, the reflections appear clearly. You see the world as it truly is. But when the water ripples with worry and impatience, the reflection becomes distorted. We then make decisions driven by fear instead of wisdom. Calmness is the state that allows us to view life with the clearest eyes. When we are still inside, it becomes easier to choose the right path and recognize the right opportunities that the universe is guiding us toward. Here is something interesting. The universe does not work well when we push too hard. When we strain ourselves to force life to follow our expectations, we create energy resistance. It is like swimming upstream. We spend tremendous effort yet move so little. But when we relax and allow the current of life to guide us, we travel farther without exhausting ourselves. Calmness is when we stop forcing the universe to bend to our will and start trusting that everything already has its natural order. Some days, the most powerful thing we can do is allow ourselves to pause. Not acting does not mean giving up. It means understanding that action is not always the answer. Sometimes just one deep breath, one moment of stillness, is enough to reconnect us with ourselves. Calmness helps us discern whether our next move comes from wisdom or from fear. When we act out of fear, we make a mess. When we act out of peace, every step becomes transformative. Calmness also releases us from the pressure of time. When we obsess over having everything immediately, we unintentionally set deadlines for miracles. That rush distorts the journey. But when we trust the universe's timing, we let go of the question of when. We stop pressing our face against the clock. We understand that what belongs to us will never be lost, and what has not arrived simply is not ready to bloom. Calmness is the highest form of manifestation. When we are at peace, we send a message that we trust the flow of life. We give the universe space to arrange the best possible outcomes. We do not cling, demand, or force results. And because of that, we become more open to every form of goodness that may appear. Calmness reminds us that we do not need to hold everything tightly to keep it. We do not need to run fast to avoid falling behind. We only need to breathe, stay grounded, and walk with full presence. When the mind is steady, the path opens. When the mind is calm, the right things naturally find their way to us. Peace is not just a destination. Peace is the doorway to everything we are seeking. Let calmness become your companion on every journey. When the heart is peaceful, the person is peaceful. When the mind is calm, life becomes calm. And when you are centered within yourself, any desire you send to the universe will have the chance to bloom in the most beautiful way. Lesson 7. When you let go, you make space for miracles to appear. From the time we were young, We were taught that if we want something, we must chase it until the very end. The more we persist, fight, and compete, the more likely we are to succeed. Society praises those who never stop, those who wake up early and stay up late just to push themselves harder every day. We believe that as long as we keep trying, the universe will eventually have to give us what we ask for. But the more we chase, the more exhausted we become. The tighter we hold on, the more we fear losing. And we wonder why the harder we try, the further everything seems to slip away. Perhaps it is time to ask a different question. What if the key to receiving is not chasing, but letting go? What if what we are searching for will come the moment we stop searching for it? In the Buddha's teachings, the root of suffering always lies in attachment. When we cling tightly to a person, a desire, or an outcome, we believe that only when it belongs to us can we be happy. But that very attachment is what hurts us. We fear losing, so we hold even tighter. The tighter we hold, the greater the anxiety becomes. It is the endless cycle of suffering. When our eyes only focus on what we lack, the mind produces a sense of scarcity, and that energy pushes what we desire even farther away. Forcing things blocks the natural flow of the universe. Letting go does not mean abandoning your dreams. Letting go simply means releasing the obsession over how and when they must arrive. Instead of asking when it will happen, ask how you can show up at your best today. Letting go is shifting the mind from a future full of worry to a present full of trust. When you understand that what is meant for you will never be lost, you no longer need to force life to follow your demands, because only what arrives at the right time is truly right for you. Think of a gardener. They cannot pull the plant upwards to make it grow faster. Their only job is to plant the seed, water the soil, care for the land, and wait patiently. The seed may be silent beneath the ground, but it is still sprouting. You cannot see it, but the growth is happening. Our lives work in the same way. The things we cultivate today may be growing quietly in the dark. The lack of visible results does not mean the universe is not working for us. What makes us cling is fear. Fear of losing what we have. Fear of never finding such goodness again. Fear that if we loosen our grip, everything will slip away. But letting go is not indifference or carelessness. Letting go is a profound form of trust that we are still worthy of love and support, even as circumstances change. When you trust your own worth, you no longer need to cling to anything to prove it. And when you dare to release, miracles finally find a way in. When we no longer insist on only one outcome, the universe has room to create possibilities in its own way. What you want may still come, but through a path far more beautiful and surprising. Sometimes we think we have lost someone important, but life is simply clearing the way for the right person to arrive. Sometimes we believe we have taken a wrong turn, but that very step back may be preparing us for a leap forward. Miracles often appear at the most unexpected moments. Letting go is a declaration of trust to the universe. I believe you know what is best for me better than I do. That trust brings a gentle sense of relief. We no longer struggle through each day. We learn to smile at what is not yet complete. We understand that the universe's plan always carries a wisdom beyond the narrow vision of the ego. When we surrender, what is right finds its way to us at the pace that perfectly aligns with our journey. The more we let go, the more space we create. When we stop pouring our energy into controlling everything, we have more power to open ourselves to new possibilities. An open heart will always attract greater blessings. What you have been seeking may already be standing right at your door, waiting for you to remove the lock of fear so it can step in. Happiness sometimes only needs one soft breath, and the simple saying, "It is all right, I trust," Letting go is not a skill that we learn once and master forever. It is a lifelong practice. We may need to let go again and again, each time our heart unintentionally clings to something. But with every release, we become wiser, freer, and more awake to life's truth. Everything that leaves is merely a reminder that we are moving closer to what truly belongs to us. Remember this. Picking things up can be difficult, but putting them down is even harder. And because it is hard, letting go is always an act of courage. If you are brave enough to trust, the universe will be generous enough to give you what you deserve. Sometimes all it takes is one gentle moment. You open your hand, and a miracle walks in. In this very moment, if you can, gently set aside all your worries. Close your eyes for a little while. Inhale deeply and feel life nourishing you with every breath you take. And then exhale slowly, letting go of everything that has been weighing on your heart. Right now, life is still quietly working in your favor. What you need will arrive when you are truly ready to receive it. Remind yourself of this. I no longer need to chase anything. What is meant for me will always find me. When I am calm, the right door will open. When I relax, the good will naturally come. Just trust this journey. Trust that the universe has never abandoned anyone. Be calm to receive. Open your heart to welcome. And every miracle will gently step into your life. If today's message brought you a little peace, a fresh perspective, or simply one lighter breath in your soul, I am grateful to be here with you. Do not forget to like this video, share it with the people you love, and subscribe to the channel so you will not miss what is coming next. Every action you take helps spread peace to many other hearts. I wish you the strength to stay calm, even in the most chaotic moments. I hope you will always see the light, even in the darkest places. And I hope you will always believe that everything is unfolding exactly as it is meant to. May peace stay with you, today and every day.